Julia Koch and her 3 children inherited a 42% stake in Koch Industries from her husband, David, who died in August 2019 at age 79. An Iowa native, Koch moved to New York City in the 1980s and worked as an assistant to fashion designer Adolfo. She worked with many of his high-profile clients, including First Lady Nancy Reagan. Julia met David via a blind date in 1991, they ran into each other again 6 months later, began dating and got married in 1996. With her late husband, she donated $10 million to Mount Sinai Medical Center and $10 million to Stanford Children's Hospital to study food allergies. Alice Walton is the only daughter of Walmart founder Sam Walton. She has focused on curating art, rather than working for Walmart like her siblings, Rob and Jim. In 2011, she opened the Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art in her hometown of Bentonville, Arkansas. Crystal Bridges features works from the likes of Andy Warhol, Norman Rockwell and Mark Rothko. In 2022, the Holistic Health Institute Walton, founded in Bentonville a year earlier, was renamed the Alice L. Walton School of Medicine. Mackenzie Scott is a philanthropist, author, and the ex-wife of Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, to whom she was married for 25 years. As part of their 2019 divorce, she received a 25% stake in the online retailer. In May 2019, shortly after she announced the terms of the divorce on Twitter, she signed the Giving Pledge, promising to give away at least half of her wealth over the course of her lifetime. Between July 2020 and November 2022, Scott has details how she's given away $14.4 billion to nearly 1,600 nonprofits. Scott employs a no-strings-attached style of giving, wherein the nonprofits to which she donates have full control over how to best deploy the new funds. Scott, who has published 2 novels, was a student of author Toni Morrison at Princeton and worked as a research assistant for her. Jacqueline Mars owns an estimated 1/3 of Mars, the world's largest candy maker, founded by her grandfather. She worked for the company for nearly 20 years and served on the board until 2016. Her son Stephen Badger is on Mars' board of directors. Mars serves on the board of the National Archives and was formerly on the board of the Washington National Opera. Her brother John owns an estimated 1/3 of Mars, her late brother Forrest Jr.'s 4 daughters own the rest. Abigail Johnson has served as CEO of Fidelity Investments since 2014, when she took over for her father, and has been chairman since 2016. Her grandfather, Edward Johnson II, founded the Boston-based mutual fund Giant in 1946. She owns an estimated 24.5% stake of the firm, which has $3.7 trillion in managed assets. Johnson has embraced cryptocurrencies and, in 2018, Fidelity launched a platform that allows institutional investors to trade Bitcoin and Ether. She worked summers at Fidelity through college and joined full-time as an analyst in 1988 after receiving a Harvard MBA. Laurene Powell Jobs inherited her fortune mostly through shares of Walt Disney and Apple from her late husband, Apple co-founder Steve Jobs, who died in 2011. Powell Jobs is the founder and president of the Emerson Collective, a grant-making and impact investing firm focusing on causes that include education, immigration, health, and the environment. Powell Jobs purchased The Atlantic in 2017 and has invested in other media outlets and nonprofit newsrooms, including Axios, ProPublica, The Athletic, and the Committee to Protect Journalists. She owns a minority stake in Monumental Sports, parent of the Wizards, NBA, Capitals, NHL, and Mystics, WNBA, and in 2022 invested in the WNBA's first-ever capital raise. She launched the Emerson Collective Foundation, now called Waverly Street Foundation, in 2016 with a gift of $1.2 billion and in 2021 pledged an additional $3 billion to address climate change. Diane Hendricks chairs ABC Supply, one of the largest wholesale distributors of roofing, siding, and windows in America. Hendricks co-founded the business with her late husband, Ken, in Beloit, Wisconsin, in 1982. She has run it since his death in 2007. She led ABC to make the two biggest acquisitions in its history, buying rival Bradco in 2010 and building materials distributor L&W Supply in 2016. The company has nearly 800 branch locations and nearly $15 billion in 2021 revenues. Hendricks sold custom homes for a builder before meeting Ken, a roofer. She has spent millions on local economic development, rebuilding entire blocks in Beloit and bringing in several new businesses to the state. Christy Walton married into what is now the richest family in the world, Walmart's Walton clan. She inherited a stake in the retailer when her husband, John Walton, died in a 2005 plane crash. Christy received about 1/6 of her husband's estate. Her son, Lucas Walton, got about 1/3. She was one of the biggest backers of the Lincoln Project, an anti-Trump super PAC that ran ads in battleground states during the 2020 campaign. She leads a very private life in Jackson, Wyoming. Marijke Mars and her three sisters are heirs to the family's giant candy and pet food company, Mars, Incorporated. All four sisters inherited estimated stakes in the company of 8% apiece when their father, Forrest Mars Jr., died in 2016. Her great-grandfather Frank Mars founded the candy company in 1911. Mars serves on the company's board of directors. Best known for candy such as Milky Way, Dove and Skittles, Mars also makes Ben's original rice and pet food, including Pedigree and Whiskas.